It's this beautiful day here in Bridgeland. I'm at Dragonfly Park and the sun's just coming up, and I'm really excited to share with you more about what it's like to live here in Bridgeland. And it's a wonderful master plan community, so much so that many people think it's the best. And if not, let me know what neighborhood you consider to be the best master plan community in Cypress. Well, let's get started with going over a few things that make Bridgeland unique. So one thing that separates Bridgeland from all the other neighborhoods in the area is that it's just so massive. So it consists of over 11,000 acres. And eventually when they're done building, they'll have over 20,000 single family homes. Sienna out in Sugar Land, Missouri City area has 11,000 acres as well, and it's huge. And then also the Woodlands. The Woodlands is its own city, and it consists of 27,000 acres. So it's almost half the size, and so it's just a massive, massive community. The other thing that I love about it, it has a ton of natural areas. Over 3,000 acres of open area, so you just kind of walk around, you have wildflowers growing everywhere, lakes and walking trails, so that's pretty cool. Now, because it's so big, it's kind of hard to understand the different layouts of Bridgeland. It's actually broken down to 5 different sections, and I don't think a lot of people talk about that.
So this is the map of the 5 sections of Bridgeland. Let's start with the original section of Bridgeland, and that is Lakeland. So Lakeland was the first section here that they started building in Bridgeland. This area is actually in the flood zone, and so they didn't build any houses there, and so you have walking trails and lakes and parks, things to do, and so if it does flood, it's not going to flood any houses. Lakeland, again, is the original section, and so these were started to build in about 2006, 2007, and so you'll have some older homes, but they did build some like newer houses. You'll have a mix of townhome styles of houses, luxury, entry-level, and mid-level, and so that's the original section, and then they started building Parkland. Parkland's going to be around, mid-2010s to about 2023, 2024, and finish up here in 2025. So these are going to be a little bit newer, but the newest homes are west of Grand Parkway in Creekland and Prairieland. Now, Prairieland is going to be the biggest, obviously. And then this green one here is Bridgeland Central. Now, that is going to have some houses, but for the most part, it's going to be apartments and shopping and other commercial spaces. And so everything's going to be right here. It's easy access, and it's pretty easy to get on the highways. This is how Bridgeland is laid out. Again, not a lot of people talk about the different sections there. So it's good to see that, right here on the map to kind of give you a better idea of where it's laid out.
So let's talk about the homes here in Bridgeland. There's obviously a ton of homes, different styles and products. I love most of them, not all of them, but I love most of the styles and the layouts that they've done here. They really did a great job of putting in some higher end products. Yeah, even for some entry-level houses, you're gonna have usually a better quality build. The developer really did a good job of making sure that it's higher quality finishes, and obviously you're gonna pay for some of that. The nice thing about Bridgeland is you can still buy a brand new house. Now, currently, most of those new homes are gonna be west of Highway 99 or Grand Parkway, but you can still build a new home. So I love that about it. And so the homes here are pretty phenomenal. Oh, I have not introduced myself. My name is Paul Holub. I'm a professional real estate agent, and I specialize in helping people relocate to the greater Houston area. So if you're thinking about moving here to Bridgeland, Cypress, or any area around Houston, I'd be honored to help you find your next house here. Please call or text me right now. It's the number on the screen to get started. Also, do me a big favor of liking and subscribing to my channel. My goal with the channel is to document all of the most popular areas around Houston so you can get a better idea of what these different areas are like and which one might be the best fit for you. All right, back to Bridgeland. So let's talk about the schools here in Bridgeland. So Bridgeland has some of the highest rated schools in Cypress. And Bridgeland actually covers 3 different school districts: Cyfair or Cypress Fairbanks ISD, Waller ISD, and a little portion is zoned to Katy ISD. Now, you need to know that Waller ISD doesn't quite have the same reputation for quality schools as it does in Cypress or Katy. And so if you're moving here to Prairieland, you're gonna have Waller ISD schools, and Roberts Elementary, Waller Middle School, and Waller High School are all currently rated a C. And so I think that's causes a lot of people to be cautious about moving west of Grand Parkway. Now, the good news is that they are building new schools, and McReevy is a new elementary school, and that's going to be open here this fall of 2024. So if you do want to be in the best schools in Bridgeland, then you need to be east of Grand Parkway, and that's Cypress Fairbanks ISD or Cyfair. And this is where you'll find the best schools, particularly the elementary schools. Pope and Wells are A-rated. McGowan is a newer school. It was built in 22, and so it doesn't have a rating yet, but I think it's going to be at least a B, if not an A-rated school as well. And then Bridgeland High School is just a highly rated school that many people move into the area to be zoned to. So if you're looking for schools and kind of want peace of mind, then definitely stay east of Grand Parkway. So I love the amenities here at Bridgeland. There's just tons to do. The amenities are top notch. So I'm here at Dragonfly Park that has a fitness center, a lazy river, pool, playground, splash pad, walking trails, meeting area. So it has like tons to do, and this is just like one of them. So they also have a ton of different ones. So Lakeland Activity Center has a meeting room, lap pool, activity pool, sliding pool, and an on-site activity director, which is pretty amazing to have an on-site activity director doing events throughout the year, really trying to build community. I love that about these master plan communities. They're able to do that, which a lot of the smaller ones obviously are not. Longwind Landing has 2 pools, play area, ping pong. Oak Meadow Park has a nature trail and lake with floating dock to catch and release fishing and disc golf, which I'm a huge fan of disc golf. It's way cheaper than regular golf, and I'm terrible at regular golf. Lakeland Village Park has a heated lap pool, playground, boat launch, tennis court, skate park, and more. Josie Park Lake is a 140-acre lake with kayaking and paddle boating. Treehouse Park, they actually built a treehouse, so if you want to go climb a treehouse with your kids, it's pretty cool. You can go do that. Festival Park is where they have different events and concerts throughout the year, and they usually have a summer concert series. And then the Waterhaven Park is a splash pad, and many of these will have fitness centers in them. You don't have to add a gym membership and save some money there, and obviously just factor that into your HOA fees. Amenities here are top notch, and I love them.
Let's talk about commuting from Bridgeland to other areas to Houston. So if you're working in the Galleria, take a look at the map here and you'll see that without traffic, it's gonna take about 31, 32 minutes. Now during rush hour, that's gonna be about 50, 55, maybe even an hour or so, depending on accidents and so forth, and when you leave. And so if that's gonna be a bit of a concern, you might need to consider moving a little bit closer. So if you need to commute from Bridgeland to downtown without traffic, that's gonna take you about 36 minutes. But if you're leaving during rush hour, it's gonna take you on average about 57 minutes. So right around an hour, depending on how traffic's going. So the big park and ride that's closest to Bridgeland is just north of 290 right off Skinner Road, so it's not too far of a drive. If you want to, you could probably make it down to Katy, and there's a bunch of different park and rides there. You know, this is gonna be close. It's only gonna take you about 10 minutes to get there.
All right, so let's talk about the HOA fees and other expenses here when you buy in Bridgeland. Now, the HOA fees are rather low. They try to keep it around $600 to $700 annually, but you have 2 HOA fees. So you have that kind of base price, $600 to $700 annually, and then depending on what section you're in, whether that's just kind of a normal section or even gated or luxury, you could have a higher HOA fee that you're paying from $1,500 to $3,000 or more. And those rates are going to change every couple years. I have a link in the description. You can see what they currently are to give you a better idea. But, you know, for trying to have these great amenities and keep the cost as low as possible, you know, that's not too bad. It's not uncommon for different areas. One of the big challenges is that when you do go to sell your house, there's a community enhancement fee of 0.5%, or so half of 1% that you have to pay into the community, and that helps to keep the HOA fees lower for everybody. But it is obviously a bigger expense, so definitely calculate that in when you do go to sell your house or planning to. But to get all these great amenities, I mean, you have to pay for them somehow, and that's how they choose to do it.
So this is the flood map around Bridgeland, and I apologize, it's a very busy map, but let me break it down here for you so you kind of know what's going on. So the darker blue areas are the floodway. So this is Cypress Creek, and it is obviously going to flood during heavy rains. And so they didn't build any homes here, like I mentioned earlier, and that's where the lakes are, the walking trails, the parks, and if it floods, hey, it's no big deal, there's no houses here. Now the next one is the light blue, and that is the 100-year floodplain. So there's a 1% chance that it's going to flood every year in this area. So if you're going to buy here, definitely be careful and always get flood insurance. Always quote that out before you buy a home anywhere in Houston. Now the orange part is the 500-year floodplain. Now once every 500 years it could flood, so you're obviously less likely to flood here, but the best one to be in is the orange section, which is where you're out of any special flood hazard. Now that's where you're gonna have the cheapest flood insurance. So again, wherever you buy, definitely quote out flood insurance during your option period, so you know what you're getting into, as well as homeowners insurance, because it's just skyrocketed recently.
So if you want to look for homes available in Bridgeland, I always recommend har.com. That's the best place to go look for new homes and resale homes. And then also, Bridgeland does have a very robust website, so you can see the new homes coming available. So definitely check that out. To learn about another great neighborhood that rivals Bridgeland in Cypress, watch this video next.